Sometimes I make a video and I think I have a pretty good read on the room, and then the comments come in and I have not read the room. And that sort of thing has been happening more and more lately, and I've had to pause and really absorb where other people are coming from. This has happened like 3 times just in the last few weeks. The first was a video I made on Affinity being purchased by Canva. The second time was Apple's latest iPad ad, which got a ton of negative attention online. The third was some random text that was spotted in an Apple video that featured Procreate, where it mentioned that Procreate required a subscription. Don't worry, it doesn't, but I'll get to that mess. The response to all of these has been overwhelmingly cynical, more than it ever has been in the past. The culture and the mood is always shifting and often gradual and imperceptible until you get to a point where you see something and you're like, how did that happen? I've had that moment happen to me several times in the last few weeks. So I tweeted this in response to Apple admitting that they missed the mark on their latest iPad Pro video, where they crushed a bunch of art tools and musical instruments down into their super slim new iPad. So here's the tweet. 5 years ago, this ad wouldn't have even registered. The age of the good guy tech brand is over. Cynicism is the new norm. The mood has shifted to, if you haven't screwed us yet, it's only a matter of time. And I get it. I feel it too. There's been a big mood shift towards brands, but especially tech brands. I don't think a brand can successfully position themselves as the good guys anymore, even if the brand is trying to do the right thing by their customers. Example 1, Affinity Designer. They make design software. They have 3 apps across multiple platforms, Mac, PC, iPad OS. They built their reputation in the wake of Adobe changing to their buy once and you own it business model over to their monthly pay by the month rent it subscription model. It's been several years already. I think maybe more than 10. It's been a while. But Affinity has built their own version of Photoshop, their own version of Illustrator. I think Affinity Designer might be better than Illustrator, but whatever. Their own version of InDesign. To me, someone who covers this space and knows it pretty well, Affinity is the model for the good guy tech company. They looked at Adobe software and asked, how do we make it better? How do we make it cheaper? While Adobe was making these little lightweight iPad apps that nobody wanted, Affinity was really innovating and breaking new ground with their iPad apps. They have a more incremental approach to their software that involves less big fancy features that will eventually be abandoned, but more about sustainability and bug fixing and just improving their software over time. And they only charge for major updates. And most importantly, no subscription model. So when they announced that they were being purchased by Canva last month, a venture capital funded startup that's in the process of filing for a public IPO, the comments were fire, or maybe they were on fire. It was a dumpster fire. No matter how much goodwill Affinity has built up over the last decade, it was just instantly gone. They released a pledge to always offer affordable, buy it, you own it software. Didn't matter. I read the pledge in my video and people were like, nope, that is a lie. Don't believe a word of it. Several folks called me a shill just for reading the pledge. And if I'm being honest, do I think Affinity's business model will remain the same once Canva is a publicly traded company and the line must always go up?
Search your soul, Brad.
No, I don't believe that will always be the case. But I cover the news in our industry, and if a brand says something and makes a pledge, I can't just shout, liars! I have no proof, and they have no track record of going back on their word. Last week, Apple puts out a video talking about the new features in Procreate. At the end of the video, it said this: the Apple Pencil Pro is sold separately, Procreate available on the App Store, subscription required. I'm going to stop reading there. Subscription required. Wow, that put a lot of people into a frenzy. Now, Procreate was quick to respond that that was a typo, but again, the fact that it could even possibly be true just sent folks into a rage. If Procreate, an app that cost $10 one time and thousands of artists have built their careers on it, if they don't even get a sliver of the benefit of the doubt, who does? Nobody. Because so many companies have taken advantage of their customers in recent years, nobody gets the benefit of the doubt.
This is why we can't have nice things, people.
Apple used to be the tech good guy. There have always been people who don't like them. Sure, but their business model has been make great products, sell them at a premium price. Even if you don't like those prices, at least they're transparent and predictable and their business model makes sense. And they've always valued your privacy and your data is your data. So I get what they were going for with crushing tools in this ad. It's like, hey, look, all these things can be made on the iPad Pro. But in the context of generative AI, something that is front of mind for many creators these days, Go back. Last year, WWDC, Apple used terms like machine learning instead of AI to describe the things that they were building. Their iPad presentation said the letters A and I more in 30 minutes than Apple as a company has said in the last decade. I noticed that, a lot of artists noticed that. And showing off a whole bunch of AI features right after watching a car crusher, context gets a little bit muddled. Cory Doctorow, who is a writer and a general genius just chilling on the internet, came up with a term a few years back called enshittification. It describes the process that investor-driven companies go through. First, you build a genuinely useful product, something that solves a problem or fills a need. Then you optimize it, improve it for users, and so more and more people come into your ecosystem. Next, you monetize those users with advertising or upsells. Once the competition has died off and you own the market, keep cranking up the money that you're making from the business at the expense of that original usefulness. Keep squeezing and squeezing to make that product worse and worse and worse to optimize value for the shareholders. I don't think Apple is as deep in this process as many other companies are. In some places like the App Store and the monopoly they have there, or maybe iCloud, but generally, money for hardware seems like their main business model. Illustrators have been on the front line of many of these technology trends, whether it's Adobe going to a subscription model many years ago. So even if you want to open those old files you made, you can't do that without still being in their ecosystem. Or ask any artist who has built a career on Instagram. How are things going nowadays? Same with Facebook, Twitter. Heck, even the companies that are supposed to be on our side pulled a bait and switch on us. DeviantArt was like, hey, post your portfolios here, get work, sweet. Now this means we own your work, haha, let's make our own AI service out of it. And of course, we all remember 2021, the year of the NFT disaster. I don't know if this cynicism carries over to other industries. I have a feeling it does, but here, now, for illustrators, that's the default. No matter how many good things a company does in 2024, they will always be looked at with a certain amount of trepidation because 95% of the companies that we deal with on a daily basis are garbage. So I don't know how to end this video. My instinct is to go out on a high like, hey, listen, look, there's a little bright spot over there. Let's talk about that and how that could be the future. But I can't think of any. A vast majority of the criticism that I've gotten here on my videos over the last few months stems from my general optimism, trying to keep a good faith read of any situation. I guess I'm going to keep doing that because I never learn, and that's just who I am. But I'm wondering, do you have any bright spots? Do you think I'm overstating these trends or how I understand them? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you in a couple of days.